Shalom and welcome to the weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Hebrew. Today we're looking at Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 15, which I remind you in your English translation will be verse 16. The Lord has detailed all his accusations against his people, and in the previous verse we saw the very ominous, therefore, this is what the Lord is going to bring against his people. And he's going to give them bitter water to drink and bring his chastening hand upon them. And he's going to continue that judgment in this verse here. It's not an easy verse, mainly because of its content. So let's go ahead and read it in Hebrew as we get started. Va hafitzotim bagoyim asher lo yada'u hema ve'avotam vashilachti acharehem et ha'herev ad koloti otam. So in this context, since we're already talking about what the Lord is going to do, we're going to have a vav here, and it's going to be on a perfect, and it's going to be a perfect consecutive. Now you see this team at the end, you might think this is a masculine plural, but actually, as we've seen before, this is actually a pronoun suffix, obviously a 3MP suffix, third masculine plural. And the T that you see here is actually the sufformative or the affirmative. So what we're going to have here, and we have a hey prefix at the beginning. So this is actually going to be, it's going to be with the T sufformative, it's going to be a first common singular. And it's going to be a hiphil. This is a perfect, as we've said, but it's a perfect consecutive. And this is going to be a hiphil from the verb putz. Now, putz, usually written like that, sometimes with an u in the middle like that. And this verb means to scatter. So in the hiphil would mean, it means in the kal it means to be dispersed or to be scattered. So in the hiphil it means actually to scatter. Now, if you see the two consonants that we're dealing with, this is obviously the hey prefix. But what is this O vowel here? That looks like something very, very strange. Well, this is something that does happen with hollow or weak verbs like this. These two yod and two vav verbs will occasionally do that. So if you want to check it out in a traditional grammar like Juyon Muraoka, you'll find this on paragraph, I looked it up, paragraph 80, section I, small I, like that, and it's just sort of a vowel that gets inserted there, sort of a linking vowel to help pronounce the whole structure a little bit better. So that's what we have here from the verb putz. So it's I will scatter them, because perfect consecutive, I will scatter them among the, there's our preposition, and there's our article with the dagish right there, among the goyim, among the nations. And which nations is he referring to here? Nations which they did not know. So this is just a good old perfect cal 3MP with the u sufformative at the end, which they did not know or they have not known. They, there's no personal pronoun, 3MP, and their fathers. So here's our suffix again, 3MP suffix, and avot. Remember, this is an irregular plural of av. Av takes its plural with an ut, even though it's masculine in its gender here. So it's which they did not know, they or their fathers. And I will do something else to them. And once again, we're going to have a perfect consecutive, just like over here, with the T sufformative at the ending. And this time it's going to be a first common singular, but it's going to be a PL. And you can see your traditional signs of a PL. You got your hirak here, you have a doubling right here in the middle. You do have three strong consonants. And shalak, in the kal, means to send. And so in the PL, this is going to mean to send in a verb, but with sort of an intent to actually to send something after someone else. We're going to see it's a much stronger sense perhaps than in the cal. So, and I will send after, here's our preposition here, and with a suffix on it, pronoun suffix on the end, 3MP suffix, and I will send after them, and here's our direct object marker with an article right here on the noun cherev, which means sword. So I will send after them the sword until, here's our preposition, until what? Until, what is this? Is this another T? Is this a conjugated verb? Well, actually, no. This one is actually an infinitive construct from the verb kala, like this. And remember, your 3 hey verbs take the infinitive construct in an ot. So that's why you have the ot here, and the pronoun suffix is just the e. So it's a first common singular suffix that we have on it. So that's what we have here. Now, kala is a verb which means, in the cow, means to be at an end, but in the PL, which is what we have here. Oh yes, this is definitely a PL. Don't forget to mention that. You have your pathak here, you have your doubling right here. And before you have your ot ending, which is because of the 3-hay verb. So in the PL, this means to bring to an end. To be at an end in the cow, to bring to an end in the PL. So to consume it, to destroy it, to make it so it doesn't exist anymore. So until, and then my bringing, so we would conjugate this almost like a conjugated form. Until I bring them, until I have destroyed them, and here is our direct object marker, once again with a 3MP suffix, until my destroying them, literally, so until I have destroyed them. So it's not too complicated in terms of the grammar here, pretty straightforward, but my goodness, what a hard and terrible message because of the people's hardness of heart right here. Let's hide our work here and look at a couple of translations. First of all, in the ESV, I will scatter them among the nations. Pretty straightforward. Whom neither they nor their fathers have known. They and their fathers. So neither they nor their fathers. Good translation. And I will send the sword after them. I will send. You don't necessarily feel the force of the PL, but that's a good translation. I will send after them the sword until I have consumed them, until I have brought them to an end. Looking at the NIV, they just elaborated a little bit more. I will scatter them among the nations that neither they nor their ancestors have known. Fathers, right? That's a good translation for fathers. Neither they nor their ancestors have known. God's going to be sending them to other parts of the world which are not a regular part of where the people have been living. And I will pursue them with the sword. I will send after them the sword. So I will pursue them with the sword. That's a good teeny bit of paraphrase, but a very good translation there. Until I have made an end of them. Quite literal, but a very powerful statement there. And then one more, the New Living Translation, which is quite obviously a paraphrase, but it gets the point across. I will scatter them around the world. Well, that may be going a little bit too far because they're not going around the world, but all around that part of the world, in places they and their ancestors never heard of. Okay, that they have not known. Okay, you're going somewhere where you've never been before. And even there, I will chase them with the sword. Chase is sending the sword after them. Okay, that's gets the idea across, with the sword, until I have destroyed them completely. The kala gets that idea of complete destruction, complete bringing to an end. So very hard in the message that the Lord has to take such terribly drastic methods with his people because of their stubborn sinfulness. Oh, may the Lord always give us tender hearts. We're not going to walk perfectly in this world, but may we be quick to recognize his chastening hand, to receive correction, whether from his word or from his prophets, in this case here, as in Jeremiah, and people that are warning us. And may we be quick to respond so that such kinds of chastening do not have to come upon God's people. So we'll check back with us soon as we continue working through Jeremiah chapter 9 in the weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Hebrew. Shalom.